What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about why I am getting Gears of War Reloaded. This is a video series I do where I talk about the current state of a game in my life, whether I'm getting it, not getting it, or am somewhere in between. And this game, special kind of case, and I'll tell you guys exactly why. So I'm actually going to kind of get this game twice, and it's why I like to call this series like getting it, maybe not necessarily buying it or like how I'm doing it, because then I get to explain it. So my situation here is I'm going to be taking advantage of Game Pass, but I'm only taking advantage of Game Pass because I'm also actually buying it on the side separately on PlayStation. I feel like this is, look, we've gotten a lot of Xbox games that have come over to PlayStation. Some PlayStation stuff's going over to Xbox. When you get a Gears of War, or next year if we get like Halo 1 Remake, having it on like a PS5 case feels, surreal is probably not the right word, but it actually kind of feels odd. It feels a little bit different where you're seeing Gears so classically not on PlayStation. Now all of a sudden it is. I feel like I need to have it. And being somebody who loves physical games and game preservation, I want that. So I'm going to get it physically on PlayStation. I already pre-ordered it from Amazon. And I'm going to play it digitally through Xbox. And really the Xbox one is just if the Amazon one takes like 20 days to get to me or something stupid happens, I can play it kind of day one no matter what. Look, I'm excited for this. I've seen mixed response to this game online. And granted, I do want to say I did not, or I wasn't able to play in the beta. I missed both weekends. I was busy doing other stuff. And what I hear about the beta, the multiplayer stuff, right, is that there was a lot of people trying very, very hard in that multiplayer from the jump. Now, I love Gears multiplayer, and it can get pretty intense, let's say that in one way of saying it. I want to jump in. I want to be able to play it modern day. I know it's like, I mean, it's not going to feel like it came out in 2025 or anything, but like I am a fan of the multiplayer. That's honestly a big reason why I want to play it, cross-play, all that jazz. I mean, to be quite honest with you, friends is a big reason why I'm getting this game. Some of my longest friends that I've had in my entire life, they're getting it. We've played through Gears together, some of them and I. We've played multiplayer, we've played the single player. And look, I mean, I think this game actually, and this might sound odd because again, I feel like it kind of gets a mixed response online. This game so far is looking actually beyond my expectations for it. And it's because, like, I mean, look, this is kind of a remaster of a remaster, is it not? You can throw around the word remake, and honestly, I'm not going to disagree too much there because that's kind of, my expectations were not very high. It was, okay, you've kind of already done this before. In fact, I just replayed Gears of War 1 maybe a year and a half ago with my friends. So, like, I just did it. And it's like, okay, if I'm going to do it again, if it runs just a little bit better, if it looks just a little bit better, if it has the multiplayer, which I think was a big positive, because most of these kind of remaster games never come with the multiplayer. I think that's a positive just by itself. So, you know, again, it was already looking kind of good. And they showed the trailer and you show the gameplay and we see the, you know, the single player stuff. I mean, in a lot of ways, at least visually, it looks more like a remake than a remaster. This to me, this feels one of those like hybrid remake remasters where you don't want to call it a remake, but it can give off some of those vibes. Now, what I've heard again in other ways, like the UI of like the menu and stuff, in some ways it's gone backwards, right? So maybe, yeah, to call it a remaster, I think is probably the safest thing. But I'm just looking forward to going back again, like a fresh coat of paint, a little bit, you know, updated in terms of looks, in terms of how it runs, and, you know, visual fidelity and all that stuff, textures and whatnot. Be able to play the single player again. I think one single player is extremely good. I think 2 is the best one. I played 1 through 3 within the last year and a half. Like I played 1 and we took a couple months off. My friend and I played 2 and then we played 3. I know 3 is looked at to a lot of people as like the pinnacle of that Gears trilogy. I think 2 is where kind of everything comes together. In the stories, I think the most solid in 2. But I mean, 1's where it all started. 1 I think is an incredibly fun game. And again, I'm going to keep mentioning that multiplayer because I am a big fan of it. And I think as long as it's not unplayable and people aren't like, everybody isn't trying insanely difficult, and I can find people that are more my skill level, which is not very skilled, to be honest with you. As long as that happens, I think I can get a very good amount of fun out of this game multiplayer wise. I'm already planning to play the single player with probably like 2 or 3 friends, to be honest with you. I might play this game multiple times through with different people. I'm pumped. And honestly, $40, comes out late August. It does have competition for sure, but I feel like because of the type of game it is, it's not the longest single player in the world, and then because of the multiplayer, drop in, drop out, right? Can play it one night, take 5 days off, jump back into it. I like that. Through Game Pass, you can get it for free, and then again, I mean, if I was also just getting it for Game Pass, and I say this a lot with Game Pass games, like, what's there to lose? You know, you're already subscribed to it. I enjoy these games already, so you're only losing time if it doesn't work. Why not check it out? Now, for me personally, I'm probably going to use that method, but then also just to kind of have it as a, you know, physical kind of preservation thing, which I want to do more often. You know, if I get games digitally, I would like to buy them. Probably not the same time. I don't want to double dip spending, but a game like this, a Game Pass game, can get it through Game Pass and then also can buy it. And if I'm buying it, why not buy it physically if it's, you know, available in that way? So I'm pumped for it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.